Guys, welcome to another episode of State of Survival with me, Chad. For this video, we are going to play Influencer Trap level 38. So I've been getting a lot of messages from you from my previous video for the level 37, be it on my Discord, on my Facebook, or even here in the comment section. And for this video, I am going to try to answer some of those questions. But before we continue, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys. So the first one is, you asked me on how I set up for the influencer trap. But before we continue, just a disclaimer that I'm not a max player. And again, like on my previous video that I said, that we may be players, but we all play differently. So what I usually do as a player is watch everyone that is talking in the Discord on what the strategies or the setup, and then I try to apply that to me or check if this works for me or not. Other than that, if it doesn't work for me, then I will do some adjustment on my setup or my ratio at what is the better setup for me or what is the better formation. So the ones that I'm going to answer you guys is literally what I do for my influencer trap. This might be helpful for you, or you can take this as a guide on how to set up your influencer trap as well. The first one is how I set up for influencer trap. So what I do is I usually set 3 formation. So before the influencer trap opens, I usually save 3 formation. The first formation is my default for rallying. The second and the third are, and the rest of that is what I send to the rally leaders, so to other rally leaders. What is my setup for the talents? So my talents is that I don't switch just for the influencer trap, guys. So for example, if I am mostly in echo if there are no events, because I'm gathering resources for a lot of plasma tech research. But then if it is time for Alliance Showdown registration, then I switch to my war talent, and that stays there for a while until I need it. Or for example, if I need to switch to eco for Capital Clash or something like that, then I'll switch. But most of the time, if I don't need to switch, I don't switch at all. So for the war talent, is what I do is I only follow this rule. So 2 paths on the war talent, I go bottom or the lower part, and for the 3 path, I joined or I go on the top. And then when it comes to infantry, I always focus on attack, defense, and then the HP. I mean, the attack and defense are easy, but when it comes to HP, I built that and I left my lethality for infantry. For the hunter, I go for lethality and I focus on that, as well as attack and defense. For rider, I don't really pay attention to my rider at the moment because I'm trying to build my infantry and hunter, but in between that, I try to level up my rider as well. Next is what is my formation for influencer trap. So this is a tricky part here because I got different accounts from different state. Some of those accounts are plasma, some of those accounts are not plasma. So I have 2 setups on how I do my formation. So for my plasma accounts, what I use is I usually add infantry to that, and then less rider, and then a lot hunters. So for example, since when setting up my formation, it is really hard because I don't really pay attention to the number. So what I do is, as long as I send low infantry and a few riders and a lot of hunters, I will be okay. But since I'm lazy sometimes, so I just send like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 infantry, and then I work on my rider and hunter. So that is for my plasma account. I just add a few infantry, medium rider, and a lot of hunter, as long as I have the hunters in total there, or 100 troops. But on my 5th and the 6th marches, I usually run out of hunters, so I usually sometimes send just the riders and I get less damage from that, but it's okay. Next is if I'm playing on the state with no plasma, because I've got some non-plasma accounts. So what I do there is I never add any infantry if my troops are not plasma. I usually use a lot of riders and a lot of hunters, or technically I would just add like 10% of hunter, 10% of rider, and the rest are hunters. That's what I usually set up for my non-plasma accounts. So the last but not the least is how I join rallies. So since they changed the setup or the mechanics for the trap, it's really hard to follow up through now because all the players can send all their marches out. But before, what I do is I usually study all the rally leaders and then the points that they are making, on how much points they are making, and then I wrote it down before, and then I tried in my best to join those rally leaders that have highest damage points so that I will rank up better on the influencer trap. But since after they change this mechanics, I don't have time now, or sometimes I'm too late because of my internet, or my game is frozen, or something like that, or it's laggy. So what I do now is I try my best to join the strongest rally leaders, but if I can't, then I just join whoever got the space to join, and that's okay. After all, we're doing this for teamwork. Aside from individual rewards, we are also doing this for the entire alliance to beat certain levels of the influencer trap. So either way, it's a win-win anyway. Next is last tip that I'm going to give you. So on the right part of that is you're going to see the number of rallies that are being launched. And sometimes it's really hard for you to join in there. So what I usually do is, instead of joining the rallies, the list of the rallies, or opening the list of the rallies on my right part, I usually go to my alliance chat, and that's where I click all the rallies that are being launched, and that's where I usually join rallies. So it's easier, it's less laggy for that one. I am planning to show you on how I set up my chief talents, be it an economy or war talent, next time, because some of you are asking me that. But I will try my best, guys. I don't usually talk about PvP, but then since Reservoir League is coming, and some of the events and some of the gameplays, I think it is okay as well to share with you and how I play my game. And again, just a disclaimer that this is dependent on each player and how they play the game. Sometimes what I say here might be working for you, or sometimes if that doesn't work, then you need to find you need to tweak on how you set up your game, or on how you maximize your game, because that's what I usually do. So that's it for today, guys. I hope that my tips were going to help you and will be your guide, or set as a guide, or find other ways on how you get more damage on the influencer trap. I'll see you in my next videos, guys. Bye.